Everybody, it's Nathan doing a quick video on using a laser to set origin on our cuts. I do a lot of different materials. Not everything is a square, a lot of times it is, which is why I've got my grid set up. It makes it easy to set my material up. I've also been doing some cabinet faces right now, redoing my kitchen, so I've got actually hard rails on both sides, so I can actually just take the material, slam it into there, using my set point of origin, the machine 0, as the origin for everything, bottom left corner, and then put everything down, secure it so it doesn't actually move. But I do when I'm not doing kitchen cabinets, oops, I almost dropped my phone, as I do a lot of irregularly shaped materials, things like that, where setting is 0 right here in one spot doesn't work so well, so I've got to actually set origin generally somewhere on the material itself. I also do a lot of work where I'm standing over at my computer there, and I can't see where the bit is, so walking it into where I want the origin to be is more difficult than it really needs to be. And then also a lot of times once I'm set up, I've got my dust shoe on, I can't see the bit without crawling under, well, not crawling under the machine, but peeking under the machine to see where it is. So for me, in doing those circumstances, using a laser actually works out pretty well. So lasers, $4 or $5 off of Amazon. Power supply is actually being run right off the board, so we didn't need an actual power supply. Just need to hook into one of the pins there. To get this set up, once it's actually secured, you just need to do two basic things. First one is you need to get any piece of material. Once the laser is actually attached, you want to drop a hole into it so you see where the bit is itself. It doesn't matter where you put it on the table, just a piece of scrap, because you really don't care about it. Drill a hole in. I like to use a engraving style bit, so it's a nice solid point. You can use a V bit. It just makes it a little bit easier to actually see what's going on. Once you do that, you want to turn on your laser so you can actually see where this basically is. You're going to then take and you're going to jog the laser over into the hole. Well, let's step back a little bit. You want to take a notation of your X and Y coordinates where the machine actually is, where the hole is. Once you get that done, you're going to then jog the laser over to that hole and see the difference between where you started and where it actually is. This laser can be anywhere, because all you really care about is the difference in the coordinates. Once you have those, make a note of the difference on your X and your Y, and you're good to go. Once you're set, there's one little macro you have to put together to make it all happen out. It's actually pretty quick and simple, but in practice it's even simpler. So we're going to imagine that I want my origin to be right there on that point. Turn on the laser, just jog over. Oops, as I hit the wrong button because my fingers are too fat. Set your laser onto that point. So now the laser is aligned with where you want the origin to be. Fire off your second macro. Take over the right screen. And just like that, you can see now my tool bit is directly over where I wanted the origin to be. Laser's turned off. To make that happen, again, you just have to do two separate macros. One just turns the laser on, the second one makes actually everything happen. So for that, you need a little bit of basic G-code. So G-code file, this one's my laser origin.g is what I use. We're going to switch over to incremental mode, or relative mode, sorry. So G91, because you don't want to be using absolutes, because you don't care where you're setting 0. You want everything to move exactly to the right position. Do a little jog over, so G0. And there is going to be your difference. In this case, I've got to move negative X, positive Y, to get the bit on top of where the crosshair was. G92 zeroes everything out, M63P0 turns off the pin, and then G90, I'm back into incremental mode. So you set that up as your macro on your second set, or your second macro, and that's what makes everything happen. So again, laser on, we'll imagine that's where I'm actually wanting my origin to be. Laser off, right on top of it, sets 0 for me, and then turns the laser itself off. So you see, does everything for me. It's quick, it's simple. I don't use it all the time. It's just for when I'm using irregularly shaped or odd shaped, or I just have material on other spots and I don't want to reference my origin down here, and I don't want to be spending a lot of time staring at where the bit actually is. So it's just one more tool to use. I use it probably every 10 times or so, but the times I do use it, it comes in very, very handy. So it's an option for you. Might be one worth looking into, and it's easy to set up once you're put together. So just printed this part out, glued it onto there. Again, it doesn't matter where it actually is because you're going to be setting the coordinates through G-code. So one more tool. Thanks.